when I say grind for 2 straight years, make this sacrifice. Not smoke, not drink, not club. Don't do nothing. Don't do no type of none of that. Can you do that for 2 years and focus on your craft? Or would you rather work 30 years of your life at a job you don't like?
And welcome back to Podcast on Wheels. I'm your host, Brian Smith. And today in studio, we've got a real treat, Mr. Kelvin Bradford Jr. Welcome to the studio.
You, Brian.
Thank you. Kelvin, I want to tell the audience real quick a little bit of backstory about us. So I'm here at the house one day. Kelvin's in the neighborhood. He happens to see the studio. He stops in, checks it out. We have a quick conversation. He tells me a really cool story. And I'm going to let you pick up right there. Tell us about your backstory and your brand, sir.
Yes, I have a brand called YFM, YFM Gear. YFM stands for You Feel Me. Like I said, I came up with it in college. Like I said, I went through a down phase in college. I went through 2016, I was playing ball. Things weren't going right. Me and the coach didn't see eye to eye on certain situations. I remember I got that phone call. I was at the beach, he called me. He basically told me, like, we got somebody basically come and take your position, your spot. So it's kind of like, I didn't know what I was going to do right then. I still had a chance to go back and play, but it's kind of like, if I knew that, it's kind of like, you basically not going to be playing, seeing no minutes. You're going to have to just basically not play. So I wasn't having that. And like I said, I'm not a quitter. So I talked to my dad about it because at the time, I'm on scholarship. So it's kind of like, to keep playing, you want to keep the scholarship for the school, you work and stuff like that. So I decided not to keep playing. Like, I just had to, part ways with that. And I had ended up losing my scholarship. So I had to end up getting a grant and to finish school. Through that phase, I think 2016 was like my downfall I went through. And I went through a depression stage because, basketball, I don't think I knew, like, that was everything. In our community, we just thought we going to go to the league, go somewhere. That's all we know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know nothing else. So it's just kind of like, I'll never forget. I think I was just sitting in my room. And I'm like, man, what I'm going to do? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go back home. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing ball my whole life. And it's kind of like, you get to that point where you're not playing, and it's like, what you going to do? Because I didn't know, like, that's the only way I did my schoolwork. I knew I had to have my schoolwork done in order to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't have that. So what's going to motivate me to do this schoolwork every day? What's going to do that? So I really didn't know. But through that depression stage, like I said, I ended up, I was drinking crazy, like living a college life, but I'm really just, drinking. But I'm really going through the depression stage, and I didn't know it. I didn't know it until like a year later. Like, dang, I had to Google the word depression when I came up out of it. I had to Google that word. I'm like, dang, I went through that. So around like 2017 came. Like I said, I'm just a normal student. I'm just a student that go to school. So I'm in my room. 2016, I was in my room. I thought of it then. I was like, make a brand called You Feel Me. Like, I ended up making a hats for it. Then 2017, I dove into like, okay, I'm really going to do this stuff. So I never forget talking to my brother on the phone. I had called him. I'm like, yeah, I'm finna, do this brand, clothing brand, basically. You feel me? But I need something that's gonna make it stand out. He was like, just name it YFM. I'm like, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So we ran with that. And I got somebody I knew to put the logo together. And I always when I told this person, I said, hey, I want the Y in the middle. I just want the Y in the middle, with these 3 letters. And they drew me up 2 designs and 2 logos, and I chose the one I got, the one that's the main logo. And we went from there with it. And like I said, I never looked back, and I just went crazy. And then in college, I was making hats. And then my first hoodie I ever created, I paid $64 for it. It was a white hoodie. I'm gonna frame it. Paid $64 for that. And then I was like, I can't be paying this much for, like, I gotta find a way to profit off of it, but I gotta get the brand out there. So my grandma, she knew somebody that made shirts and stuff like that. So I ended up just buying the hoodies. And shout out Annette, I love that lady. Like, she put me on a lot of game. Like I said, I made my own stuff. She put me on game on how to make it and this and that. We were making my stuff about a year or two, and we just went from there. And then I think like I graduated 2018 in May, but in 2017 I was just people buying the shirts. I mean, buying the hats and buying the hoodies. And then at the time, I think summer came, I ended up making the shirts, and I had my first fashion show then. And then I always said, like, I'm going to take off with this stuff. And it's like, I went there with it. And we just went up. And in 2018, like, I think the 27 in college, I think I went through that phase. I went through a process where I had to talk to the counselor because my GPA had dropped to like a 1.8. And so, in order to keep, staying in school, you got to have that 2. So it was a class they said I didn't take, but I'm like, I knew I took this class. Like, what's going on? So it was a class I had to retake, and then, like I said, they were basically saying you're gonna have to go back home. Like, you basically not gonna be able to finish this semester. If you're gonna get to this 2.0, you know what I'm saying? So I had like a week to find a solution, and I'll never forget. My grandma, she sent me a scripture to read every day, and I read that scripture every day from like that Monday to that Friday till I knew I had to go talk to the counselor, whatever. About my grade, about passing and stuff like that. So I remember I went back to that man's office, and he was like, I'm gonna see what we can do. So went in the computer, seeing what he can do. But he's saying where I actually took this class where I was able to, had him get to that 2.0. So that man literally said, he said, you must have really prayed. And I said, sir, that's all we did. You know what I'm saying? Which my grandma, like, she gave me a scripture to read every day. And I read that scripture. And that was my real moment. I had a real testimony right there. Like, that's when I was like, God is real. And I said, get me out of this. When I graduate, I'm not looking back. I'm taking YFM to the next level, and I haven't looked back since 2018.
Yeah. And I love that part of your story because, there's a lot of athletes, and we identify with the sport that we play a lot of times. I know when I came out of as a player, even though I transitioned into coaching, I still wanted to be a player. And you kind of have your identity, like you said, and you feel that, right? You feel me. So I've said that a lot recently. But here's something that I want to tell you that I had a conversation after meeting you and after our previous conversation with a friend of mine who's been on the show. He's had an apparel company, a promotional company, for 8 or 10 years, and he made this shirt. He does all of our stick, everything. And I told him your story, and he was like, I love that story. Just that part up to how you got it started, But he's like, that's what is missing. And this guy, okay, I'll tell you this guy is 20 years older than you, and he's seeing that, like, you started it in 17. Is that the first sale? And then you're still doing it. That's the part that separates you in a way. But obviously, you've encountered some obstacles or some challenges. So starting a new business, family things, different things. Tell us a little bit about 18 to kind of now, some obstacles and things you've overcome.
Yeah, man. So I graduated in 18. Like I said, I got a degree in exercise health science. Like I said, I went to school just to play sports. Like, I mean, you say you go to school, get a degree, get a job, but it's kind of like I always want to be my own boss. So when I graduated, my first job was being a lot porter at a dealership. They wanted me to sell cars, but I'm like, no, I was looking for some that, because at the time I'm making shirts, I have my own business. So I need a set time when I'm going to work and when I'm getting off. Like, I just need that time to focus on what I got going on. So when I graduated, I remember, I told my mom, like, I wanted to move to Daytona, Florida. Like, I want to just get out of Alabama, like, just move. And she kind of taught me out there, like, just kind of, stay here, get your stuff in order, just get right. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I didn't have to. I'm back with my mom, but I don't have to pay nothing at the time. So I'm taking those checks and I'm getting at this dealership. I'm putting them into my brand. Every check I'm getting, it's like I said. I think I started out getting paid. It was like probably $8 an hour, and it's kind of like I'm getting paid every week. you know, but that chick ain't nothing. I went and talked to her. I think they ended up bumping me to 9 like the next 2 days. The next 2 weeks.
Right.
They bumped me to 9 an hour. You know, I'm taking advantage of them little checks I'm getting. Like, I'm dumping it all into the brand, like, just boom, boom. So I did that, and I'm just building the brand. Like, I'm doing everything I can. My job, the whole thing was I was just focused on building the brands. So every job I was at, I was focused on just staying there for a year. So I think I'm there for a year. Next job, FedEx driver. Get that job. Delivering packages and stuff. I'm not really feeling that, but I was feeling it because I'm seeing a different. My check is way more than what I was just getting, so it's kind of like, okay, I can deal with that. But now, like I said, I think there's another year. Now it's time for me. I got bills now. I gotta help my mom pay bills. So I got that. People just feel like just because you stay with your mom or you know your parents, you don't gotta pay nothing. Like no, like around here, no, you paying. Like that's just what it is. So I think that second job, I was there for like a year and a half. So I'm there, delivering packages. You know how FedEx is, come to y'all. So I think around like they saying, I think working at FedEx, like UPS, I think you get paid by the hour. But here at FedEx, I was basically getting paid for 40 hours. But really, I'm working over 40 hours, so I'm busting my tail every day. See what I'm saying? So as I'm busting my tail at the job, it's kind of like, what is I'm doing? But I'm liking that check, but at the same time, when I was driving, I would think, because where I delivered at, it took like an hour to get there, and then the warehouse was like an hour back. But the truck only went a certain speed. Now, I'll never forget, I was driving back, and at this time, I never went through a situation where I used to be like, how can people fall asleep driving? And I went through a situation like that. So I was driving, and it's broad daylight, and the truck only going like 60 miles. So I'm driving, the truck rocking. I'm turning the music up. I'm like, no, and I caught myself dozing off. And I'm like, no, I can't keep doing this. And I'll never forget the load, I think I was having like 50 stops, 60 stops. But he was paying me for that. But what I was getting paid, I ended up having more packages than that. And at the time, I'm telling him like, hey, I'm having too many loads, but I'm getting paid this amount. So I'm going to tell you what he did. This man upped my pay, right? Upped my pay. He upped it because I had a lot of packages. I think it ended up going like, now my check probably like 700 instead of like 5 or 6. You know, just a little more.
Yeah.
So now I got 80 stops. I think like a week later, I get my check, and it ain't the same. This man then took basically, I'm not getting paid what I was getting paid. It's kind of like, how you give me a raise and then take it? Where they do that at? Feel what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, bro, what is you doing? Like, and I didn't like it because I'm telling him like, man, you know, he's a black man, black contractor. I'm like, bro, we gotta stick together, man. Like, how you getting up on your own people like that? Like, I don't rock with that. You feel what I'm saying? Then at the time, he telling me I'm gonna be able to do what he doing, like coming to the job site and then helping people load their trucks up. He kept feeding me that, feeding him that. But he really just telling me that. So you lying to me, time going on, you lying, because at the time, this is what it can do. It can help me. I can come to this job site, help people load their trucks, then go back to the crib and make YFM. That was the whole plan. I'm like, bet I can do that. So he lied to me. So I gotta train people to come and you know, he wanna hire new drivers now, but I gotta train them. I'm telling these drivers straight up, don't come here. No, he not gonna pay you guys, like, don't come here. So he heard about it, get back to me. He like, why you telling people that? I'm just letting them know, bro, like, you not the person to work for them. Like, that's not it. And he didn't like that. And like I said, again, I'm not a quitter. So I think I was talking to my grandma. My grandma, she the one that can keep me very sane and keep me just not, you know, going off of somebody. You know, she gonna talk to me. And I'll never forget, I think that day came, I was like, man, it basically my last day. But I just didn't go to the job and quit. I was like, I'm gonna do this job. I'm gonna go take the packages. But whatever I don't get off, I'm just gonna bring it back. But I end up, you know, my last day, I was like, you know, I'm not a quitter, so I'm gonna go do the stops. Mm-hmm. Whatever I get off, I get off. Mm-hmm. I didn't get a lot of stops off because it's kind of like, it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm bringing back packages back and it's adding up to 100 stocks. And it's kind of like, man, this ain't it. So I end up eventually leaving that job. I think I didn't have a job for 2 weeks. I went through a temp service. I got another job at a lighting company where I was delivering light fixtures and, hanging light stuff like that and pulling parts in the back. And I got that job through a temp. And I think I was there for like a year, a year again. So every job I had a plan when I was there. And then at this job, I went through, it got to a point, I was going to this job and it was like my stomach, man, like I started feeling ill. Like I'd be good, I'd be at home, but knowing I had to go to the job, it was making me ill. And I was like, that feeling right there, I'm like, it's bad. Like your job has you feeling like that, it's bad. And then I think that was one thing right there. Then the next thing is when my birthday was coming up and I asked to, take off. I put in the portal like I want to take off these many days because it's my birthday. And I put in like, I forgot how many days it was, but I'll never forget this. Get this. I checked the portal. I seen where the days didn't get approved. But in my mind, I'm thinking like he probably ain't checked it yet. So he walking down. I asked him, I said, hey, did my days get approved? He was like, nope, Kelvin. Can't take half a week off. And I was like, dang, okay. And like I said, I felt some type of week, and I'm like, dang, my mama ain't never told me I couldn't do nothing, like go somewhere I need to go. So you telling me I can't take half a week off? So they were like strike two right there, like, nah, this it. And I think I ended up getting my 2 week notice ready, and I think I quit like the week. I didn't do it 2 weeks. I think it was like that last week or something. I can't remember, but I had to let it go, man, because it just wasn't it, and it was just time. And I'll never forget it. He was trying to offer me a part-time because every job I was at, I always did my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, they needed me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I tell people all the time, like, you want the job to need you. You don't want them to need, you don't want to need them. So every job I went to, like, I brought that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they needed me. So they tried everything to keep me there. And I was like, no, I got my own business. I'm going to pursue that. Yeah. And I took off.
And that's the one thing as I've gotten to know you, Kelvin. It's like, yes, you were a college athlete. Things changed there. You made an adjustment. You still finished your degree. You still did some things. And you've talked to us about the brand. You've talked to us about that. But what is it? Because I hear some people say it's okay to quit. All right. And what they mean is, as you didn't quit on the people. You still fulfilled your duty to the job. And that just goes to show what kind of character you have, right? That's the integrity that you bring. As you have accomplished all those things, what is it that has kept you going? What is that calling? What is that feeling? What is that? Because there's a lot of people that have ideas. You and I joked about it right before the show. People would come up and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a brand. I'm going to put this logo on this shirt. And you're like, okay. It's tell us about that.
Like I tell people, man, you got to make sacrifices. And, that come with a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, is you going to be able to, this is what I tell people. Would you rather grind for 2 straight years? When I say grind for 2 straight years, make this sacrifice. Not smoke, not drink, not club. Don't do nothing. Don't do no type of none of that. Can you do that for 2 years and focus on your craft? Or would you rather work 30 years of your life at a job you don't like? You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Would you rather work 30 years of your life somewhere you don't, just somewhere you right? Would you rather do that? It's easy to me because it's like what I'm trying to do, man, in my community, it ain't a lot of generational wealth out here. It just ain't. We it ain't. Our people get the money and we mess it up. You feel what I'm saying? I'm trying to change that. I'm going to change that. I'm not trying. I'm going to change it. You feel what I'm saying? Like I look at my brand as the next. I look at it as Nike, the Gucci, the Supreme, all that. But I'm gonna be bigger than that. I plan to be bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's gonna come with a lot, and I'm gonna get there. But I want to create generational. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, YFM is the foundation. You know what I'm saying? I got YFM gear, YFM visuals, YFM sports division, YFM the label. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a brand. You feel what I'm saying? That I'm creating. And like I'm building something. I'm building an empire for my people. You know what I'm saying? Like generation after generation, they're gonna have some. They not gonna have to go through what I've been through, what the people, you know, in the past been through. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole motto behind this. Like, I want better for me and my people forever. You know what I'm saying? I want them to have their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just tell, like I said, I put that in everybody's ear, man. Like, can you grind for 2 straight years towards your craft, or would you rather work that job you hate, complain every day about? Would you rather work that for 30 years of your life? The everyday, this is what I'm gonna tell you what the working people do. No knock on the people that got the 9 to 5s. I'm just saying this is what I see. Y'all work Monday through Friday. What y'all do? Friday, you ready to go club, you ready to get the drinks. But like I said, everybody got a gift. You just got to tap into it. But people don't want to put in the work. They want somebody to do it for them. You feel what I'm saying? I'm all about doing this stuff, doing it, putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to have nobody do it for me. I'm a hands-on person. The person I'm big on, like I said, you got people that try to, if they do something for you, they're going to hold over your head forever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the problem here. That's why it's so hard for me to ask for help. You feel what I'm saying? Because you got people that's going to be like, you remember my dick? Like, you know what I'm saying? So anything I do, I'm offering to pay somebody off rip. That just is what it is. Like,
It's business.
It is.
It's business.
There you go.
It's business.
If you family, not family, like, I'm still going to.
Yeah, it's business.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm going to tell you, like, my grandma, she asked me one time, like, she needed me to drive them somewhere, I think out of town. And she offered to pay me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, she like, I would, you know, whatever you get, you know, I will pay you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just family, my time is valuable. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize, like, I'm not on a clock. You see what I'm saying? So everything I do is, like, it matters. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like, I'm trying to do this for my people. You know what I'm saying? I want to put my people in a better situation and also me in a better situation.
I'm going to jump in with you right there because one of our conversations reminded me, one of our previous conversations reminded me of a conversation I had years ago with some guys, and we were talking about where we were going to go out that night. And it was me and 2 other guys. One of the guys was a small business owner, and the other guy was just a guy. Mm-hmm. He did jobs, right? Mm-hmm. And they look at me and they're like, where do you want to go? And I said, I will either go and Stella's is downtown Huntsville. And there's one other location that I said I could go to. And they were like, oh, well, why don't we go over here and here? And I said, who's going to be there? Who am I going to be able to meet, network, and grow if I'm going to put myself in an environment? And I heard you say that not too long ago, that every decision has to further your brand, because here's what you're saying, and I'm hearing it. You have some coordinates on a GPS to change the history of finances in your situation, your family, and create generational wealth. You have YFM brand. That's not just a t-shirt or a hat. It's multidimensional. And you're going there. And if that path doesn't take you somewhat towards that GPS, what do you say to it? No, you don't do it unless it's taking you to your goal, right? It's like, that's what's so awesome about your story, Kelvin. You sat here and you've told me, you're like, no, I'm not going to go to the club. I'm not going to go over here, because how does it help my brand, my people, my future? And that's what I want people to get in this show, man. I haven't heard anybody say it like that. And yes, I am a little bit excited right now, because 2 years of sacrifice in exchange for 30 years of misery.
Yeah.
And hating life and getting drunk every Friday night.
Yep.
It's that simple, isn't it?
It's real, bro.
It is. And you're sitting here living proof of it. Yeah. Tell us about, you've had a fashion show, you've done videos, you've got a website, you've got maybe a launch coming out that today, when this show airs, we've got a launch coming out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the new launch is the shirt I have on, YFM Mindset. It's just a new color wave. But dropping this, I'm dropping like 3 other shirts, some shorts, and some socks, and then I'll be dropping some slides probably around like June.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm always a year ahead. I'm always a year ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm dropping something, like when it's wintertime, I'm already thinking about next winter. Spring, summer, I'm already thinking about next summer. So it's like I'm always a year ahead, thinking of the next drop. But this new drop is, like I said, people gonna love it. You know what I'm saying? And
Did you bring some gear in here today? I got
did.
some more stuff. Pull some out right here. Let's get some on camera so that we can see. Obviously, we got the shirt.
Yeah.
But, guys, I wanted y'all to see. We on his camera right now, Courtney? Okay, we're on his. Look at the packaging, man. We already impressed. Let's open it up.
Gotcha.
This is the first time. Nice. Quality. Wow. Brother, that's impressive.
Yeah, so we got these in our 3 colors.
Okay.
No, 4 colors. 4 colors. Cause I got another color I'm gonna drop with it. But yeah, man, YFM Mindset. I came up with the design. And like I said, someone see my visual with the design and put it together like exactly what I wanted. So the new design I'm dropping, the new lunch are the ones I created on my own. Like came up with, sat down, sketched them out, put them together. Like, it's my vision. So with the YFM Mindset, like I said, I'm on a thing called 1%. I'm doing what the 99% won't do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about making those sacrifices. Like I said, you know, like I did a water fast. People don't know I did a 7-day water fast.
Okay, tell us about it.
7-day water fast. I think I did it last January. I think I started with January the 2nd, but I did a 7-day water fast. Like I tell people, I don't know what people, you know, what you believe in. Like you just gotta, you know, God gonna reward you. He's gonna reward you, you know, for that. You know what I'm saying? I felt that, you know, and it's all about, you know, just making those sacrifices. And I did it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, my body felt good, and it's like it cleans your body. And I don't know if y'all heard it, but I forgot the guy from UFC, but the owner, he done it. It's good. I think everybody should do it. It's a mind thing, and like I said, why from mindset? You know, it's all about you willing to take those sacrifices, become a part of that 1%. You know what I'm saying, and just like doing what the other 99% won't do. And it's like, to that right, I did that. You know? I just think, like I said, you gotta want it. You know what I'm saying? I want this. You know what I'm saying? I want different for my family, I want to change my situation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get there. And like I tell people, man, I have my highs and lows. I ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? There's days I'm good. Some days I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I have my moments. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I went through my 2 downfalls in 2016 and 2019, losing my dad. Like, you know, I went through those down moments in my life. You know what I'm saying? But I keep going. Because I know what my dad wants. He want me to keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it for him, doing it for everybody in my family, you know? So I'm just breaking the generational curse, the whole motive and everything behind this.
Well, I have to say, and I don't know if you know this about me, and some of our watchers, viewers do. I used to play some baseball. I've coached a lot of baseball and trained and done that. And the only reason I bring that up is we've had, and Courtney's here in the studio, how many T-shirts you think I've had in my hand as far as samples and sizes? You know what I'm saying? Like we've ordered thousands.
Yeah, a lot, yeah.
Feel of this. I mean, that's a different level.
Quality, man, I'm big on that.
Because,
you paying for the quality. That's what people, you know what I'm saying?
And then this.
Yeah, I done that. I do the stitching.
This is not just a T-shirt. It's a mindset. It's a brand.
Yeah.
It's an extension of this man right here. I mean, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. So you've got the brand here. What if somebody wanted to work with you, if they wanted to buy your clothes, if they wanted to bring you into an event or something like that, like how would they find you on social media? What?
They can reach out to me at YFM_gear, or they can email me at yfmgear@gmail.com. But they can also, you know, check me out like that. Facebook, YFM space gear. And they can reach out to me like that. You know, it's very easy to get in touch with me. I'm not hard to find. You know, as Dion would say, not hard to find, but I'm easy to get to, man. Just check me out.
And here's what I'm going to say. If you go reach out to Kelvin, be ready to do something in business and make it make sense for everybody. Because this guy, I don't want to say you're going to be successful, because in my eyes, you are successful. You won today. And I see, let me ask you this before we wrap up. Do you take the time to enjoy wins?
That's a good question. Lately, I haven't, but I feel like I do. A lot of people, I take a lot of stuff serious. I think I done had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I done
Yeah.
done it
Yeah.
all. So it's kind of like I'm just so. What I'm trying to get to is kind of like I'm gonna be able to have more fun. So it's kind of like.
Thank you. Thank you. Because that's what the real ones say.
Yeah.
That's the celebration.
Yeah.
That's the enjoying the win. Is what's the next challenge? Because I can be better.
Right.
And that's awesome that you responded that way.
Yeah.
Because some people say, yeah, I'm going to have me a drink after I sell this launch. No, I bet tomorrow afternoon you're working on the next launch and the next that and the next conversation, right? But just don't forget to sleep.
Yeah.
Make sure you still drink your water.
Yeah.
All right. But Kelvin, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. From the day I met you and the respect that you had here, and in our first conversation, we talked about faith. We talked a little bit about your family. We're going to throw basketball into the fitness conversation and the finance part that we try to hit on this show as much as we can. It's like you sat here and told us you had this job. You were able to move up to this job. You were able to move up to this job. You were able to stay consistent to yourself and your brand. You went through some depression. You went through some downfalls. You were able to get through all those seasons and all those obstacles and challenges. And how old are you today so everybody knows?
29.
29 years old. And that, to me, as a young man, all right, that's young to me. And to sit here and hear what you're saying at 29, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. And that's why I wanted to get you out to the viewers. I know we got to wrap up. We've got some more stuff and you got to get back. But what's something, if you wanted to leave somebody with something today to encourage, maybe somebody that was in your situation? Because I feel like we're best suited to help the people we used to be.
Don't give up, man. Just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to give up, but bro, keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, at the end, you're gonna see the wins. Like, you just gotta stay consistent with everything you do, and I'm big on staying consistent. Like, I preach that to everybody. I preach that to my team. Stay consistent in what you do. Like, it's gonna pay off. That's all I can tell people. Just keep going and stay consistent in what you do.
I love it. I love it. It really is that simple. All you guys that watch the show and you're sitting here, you're like, okay, he's going to have small business owners and they're going to tell us this secret that they drank this lemonade and took this pill and woke up at this time. It's no secrets.
Yeah.
It's just don't give up and keep busting your butt every day, right?
For real.
Just like life. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. And go give Kelvin a follow. At least get a T-shirt, guys, because I promise you, you're going to wear it. You're going to enjoy it. And
I'll tell you where to get it from.
Tell them where to get it.
YFM.com. That's the website. We have an app, YFM Gear, on the Apple Store and the app, I think the Play Store, the Android. And you can find it there. And check me out, man. YFM_Gear is the Instagram. But we there, man. New drop Friday. Tap in. Get the gear. Got men, women, kids. I'm dropping some dog apparel too. I ain't told that, but I just let it out the bag. But I'm gonna do some dog apparel. But we got a lot of new stuff, man, coming out.
Awesome. All right. Today will be the launch. And please share this show, comment below. And when you go over there and order something, tell them we sent you, not because I'm asking for anything. I just want to show him how the community comes together. We can all support each other and everybody wins.
Yeah, you get a 30% too on the app on your first order. So put that out there.
My man, always saving one little deal there for the icing on the cake at the end.
Sir.
I love
Yes,
it.
sir.
Thank you guys for watching Podcast on Wheels.